welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us. We're in Boston, Massachusetts this week, meeting with some of the companies in the area that provide communications and technology solutions to the world. On our program right now is Noah Rafalko. He is the CEO of TSG Global. Noah, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rich.
So start at the top. Tell me a little bit about your company, please.
Well, TSG Global is a voice over IP service provider as well as a text message enabler and proponent user of the technology as well as enabler to the masses of application service providers and managed service providers out there.
So your typical customers are service providers of a variety of types.
Correct. Anything relating in or around the telecom environment, really. So if you're a telecom operator, you can be a telecom operator within a very large fidelity-like environment, and you're basically like a telephone company in itself anyway. So it can be that service provider model or a hosted service provider model or a unified communications type of model or a CLEC, ILEC, and so on.
And what sort of pain do you take away for your customers?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great question, actually. We actually take all the telecom burden, which anyone who actually involves themselves into the telecom process, whether it be negotiating with carriers, auditing their bills, that itself carries a huge amount of weight. We take all of that process and procedure. We use our proprietary systems. We provide the voice services at a transparent level using signaling technology only, meaning we don't anchor the voice like most providers do. And we really focus on the add values of the relationship. So you combine that with then looking at the direction that we've adopted and in and on top of our voice over IP product sets is taking the text messaging, and that's a whole different ecosystem that actually takes even more energy to interpret coming from the telecom side. So we take all of that pain, all of that implementation, enablement into the ecosystem for a landline operator, a CLEC or an ILEC, or managing a service provider's implementation to take their voice-enabled services, their voice-enabled telephone numbers, and change them into something so unified as the text messaging play. So taking both of those environments and simplifying them.
Now, messaging is a booming area still, isn't it? I mean, there's just unbelievable what's happening.
Absolutely. In fact, I had recently read an article in the Wall Street Journal that had dismissed SMS text messaging as something as a dying communications vehicle. And walking through the mall with my family just several days ago, maybe in an hour, I've heard 5 or 6 people say, "Text me, text me, text me." So, statistics speak volumes, and as everybody adopts this in their home and in their small, medium, and large business, you'll see anything but shrinking.
Well, I'd say that the market as a whole, right? The pie is growing very, very quickly, but there are now slivers of the pie that are being taken away from, let's say, taken away from the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Apples of the world, the Googles of the world that are taking pieces, right? But the pie continues to grow. So as long as the pie is growing, that's good for those people who make a living in the text messaging space.
Absolutely, especially if you look at the applications that allow a free text messaging, like an iPhone to an iPhone and such. That's not really a commercially viable solution. You wouldn't incorporate that, once again, in a fidelity. You would incorporate that maybe in your family or maybe user to user, but you wouldn't rely on that in a commercial sense. And the new solutions that are out there really give you that commercial viability.
And they're Apple to Apple only. I mean, that particular example you gave is Apple to Apple, so it's a closed ecosystem, which, of course, one of the beauties of text is that it's not a closed ecosystem and really works with virtually with any other technology such as email. I'm a big fan of email to text. I send a lot of email to text. I just know the phone number and the address at the carrier to turn my email into a quick text and pop it on a phone if I need to.
Right, but if you were to say pick me up at the airport, would you want, or bring me to the hospital or something, that is a usable way. It's actually a free interface into the wireless providers, but once again, they intentionally unmonitor. They don't have any monitoring capabilities. They'll do upgrades whenever they feel like it, and there's no surety that your message will actually get delivered. With the true access into the ecosystem that we provide, we give you that same interface. So for example, we use hook-ins to email, and if you wanted your desk phone to actually receive a text message and it be delivered to your email, that's all capable today. That's very much out there. We use it ourselves today.
And so you just gave me another great example of how you're helping your customers. What are some of the other ways that you're helping customers? What are some of the other things that you're doing?
Well, we actually really look at we're nimble enough, first off, we're privately held, so we're very nimble in our approach, and we come from consulting like we've spoken about many times. So when we look at an opportunity, we have the ability, when they first come in the door, to say, what do they really need? Do they need just a simplified one-stop solution for the messaging and the voice? Do they need something maybe a little bit more creative, like introduction into the carrier environment where their application can really take off, maybe in a white label solution? Do they need financing in the sense of service discounts for equity play to provide that small application, superstar application developer, because that's where they all start from, is some library or garage or something like that. They come up with this idea, except they don't have the legs for it, so it generally would fail. That kind of company also comes to us, and we say, okay, let's give this some legs. We identify you as a perfect niche product that doesn't conflict with any of the other opportunities we work with. Let's give you some opportunity in the industry that only the biggest of players have access to today.
That's very exciting. So trend-wise, we've talked a little bit about just text messaging and the growth there, and IP communications generally has been doing well. Most people probably are aware. I think it's a little down with the economy in terms of just the number of people buying phone service, but are there any other trends that you're seeing, whether they're just growth of markets or anything that customers are telling you that are worth sharing?
Absolutely. What we've noticed a lot of really adopting the technology is the ones that really drive the economy, the small business. So we have application service providers that market this product as an augmentation to their current interaction strategy with their consumer, and that might be, hey, we haven't seen you in a while, come in for $5 off because I know you and I want to create that relationship with you. You're more apt to buy from that location. So if you think about a simple way to increase revenue for that small business by adopting this little group texting kind of application play, I can keep in contact with the people that need my services, whether it's a scheduled service, a reminder service, a preventive service, or let's say I just want to keep my team together in an operational standpoint to say, when this emergency happens, I want to be able to deploy a text message, email, and a phone call to all the participants in this group. So that's really where you can actually engage multiple layer applications to provide a multitude of solutions for any of the needs that come to you.
That's great. Well, thanks so much for being on the program. This is great.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rich. Take care.